For whatever reason, a lot of people think that Medicare is free. Medicare is not free. So when you are approaching retirement, you're planning for it, you're getting closer to it, it's really important to have an understanding of what Medicare is going to cost you. So I want you to think about the costs in two main categories. You have monthly premiums and you have cost share. So first, let's talk about monthly premiums. Pretty self-explanatory. You have a monthly cost for certain parts of Medicare. A lot of people are surprised to learn that there is a monthly cost because they think Medicare is free. But when it comes to Medicare Part A, which is your hospital coverage, most of you are going to find you have a $0 monthly premium. That's been paid for by the FICA tax that you've been paying all these years, that's been taken out of your paycheck. But here is where the big surprise usually comes for people. That's Medicare Part B. That's everything outside of the hospital. And it is not free. So in 2024, most people are going to pay $174.70 a month. There are some of you that are going to pay more than that. If you are a higher income earner, you're above certain thresholds, you're going to pay more than the $174.70. And that increase is called IRMA, an income-related monthly adjusted amount. Then, depending on which path you go, you stick with original Medicare and you get a Medicare supplement policy and a Part D plan, or you go to Medicare Advantage, there are additional costs that come with that. So let's talk about original Medicare first. If you stick with the program that is run by the Centers for Medicare and Medicaid Services, for Medicare Part A, you're going to have a $0 premium if you have those 40 credits. For Medicare Part B, it's going to be $174.70 plus possible IRMA that I already mentioned. But then, because Medicare is not designed to cover every dollar, there are deductibles, copays, and coinsurance. Now, what you can do in original Medicare is you can get a Medicare supplement policy to cover a lot of those cost sharing that you would be responsible for. So with that, you are going to have an additional premium for the Medicare supplement policy and the possibility of some deductibles or copays depending on which plan you get. You also, under original Medicare, are going to need a Part D plan if you want prescription drug coverage, the stuff you pick up at a pharmacy. You may have a monthly premium. There could be deductible, copays, coinsurance, and also IRMA that I mentioned earlier applies to Part D as well. Now, what if instead you got a Medicare Advantage plan, Medicare Part C? Under that scenario, you also will not have to pay for Medicare Part A. You'll have it premium free as long as you have the 40 credits. For Medicare Part B, you also will pay the $174.70, and IRMA would apply to you also in Medicare Part C if you are a higher income earner. Then what would happen in a Medicare Advantage plan is typically a lot of these plans have no monthly premium, but what you do under those plans is you cost share. So anytime you have a service, let's say you go and you get an MRI, maybe you have a $200 copay, and the plans define the max out of pocket that you can spend. It's called a MOOP. And that MOOP is not due before the plan starts paying. That is just defining the most that you could spend. But you need to know in a Medicare Advantage plan, even though you don't get a separate Part D plan because it's mainly built into the Advantage plan, you also could pay IRMA if you're in an Advantage plan for your Part D coverage. So, in addition to the IRMA, you're going to have copays, coinsurance, etc., just like you would in a standalone Part D plan. So I would say to you, and I will chart this out in another video, and I have old videos where I did that to make this a lot clearer, but what I would say to you is the reason it's really important to get a grasp on this is, again, when you're budgeting for retirement, you have to understand what kind of expenses you're going to have, and do you have the income to cover those expenses. You can't complete that analysis without having an understanding of what Medicare is going to cost you.